So welcome to LaGuardia, that brand new MK studio. LaGuardia, we're in a livery from American Eagle. So, first of all, I'm gonna tell you that I based my profile on another great YouTuber called Les O'Reilly, and I used a lot of what he did that I didn't modify. And other stuff that I either changed or, in my opinion, made better. A lot of stuff, for instance, I do not remember anymore what is different. To be honest, it's been too long. But I figured the goal is. I realize that a lot of profiles are difficult. Good profiles are difficult to find. I have the Bravo throttle and the Alpha as well, but I realize a lot of stuff that should be working on, I don't know, default profiles are just not. So that's why I called mine MSFS Aerosoft CRJ 100%. What does it mean? It means that excluding those switches, because obviously you can do whatever you want with them, they're not tagged or pre-assigned to anything. But all the other buttons are basically working. Heading, nav, approach, rev, which I use as VNav because you will not do that on an airliner anyway, and who does that even on a GE? But anyway, that's a different story. Alt, VS, IAS. That button, autopilot, the lights for the gear itself, flaps. Anyway, and all the lights here also work. That's why I said 100%. So hopefully it's gonna be useful for people. So let's start from the beginning. There's not a lot very complex stuff going on here, actually. Yeah, there's not a lot of extremely complex stuff going on here, but exactly, I just wanted to make sure that's the that and that are basically the reverser. There's some stuff again that was not done by me, it was done by Les O'Reilly. I'm gonna provide the link to his YouTube channel in the description. So basically that's what it is. That is the wheel, the trim wheel that works very well, even though that's there's no trim wheel, but you will see, you will be able, if you look at that, you can see it does work. I'm just playing with the trim wheel to do that. So trim wheel, what else is going on? That's a cutoff as well. Exactly, which is basically pushing, pulling the both throttle, engine 1 and 2 in the cutoff position. What it will do is simply put that in the cutoff position. That simple, which can be very useful actually. So you don't have to play with that, but just be careful again. If you go in the cutoff position of your levers, engine 1, engine 2, obviously you will shut down the engine. So for the rest, I don't think we have anything here. The toga button which is here, is modeled. It's on, you can see the animation and everything here. It does work. So you need to use the Boeing levers for that, by the way. There's something, I'm gonna explain that only once, because I think it's very strange. I haven't seen other airplanes have this behavior, but there's an LVAR for toga itself that you put to 1, right? But there's also one for the animation. So if you look here and I press the button, you can see it's doing the animation, and you can hear the click. I made sure that it was there, but you don't need it. My point is, what's gonna happen is if you just put the first LVAR here, only that and not the rest, what will end up happening is it will activate, no problem, but you just won't see the animation. It's kind of strange, but anyway, that's what it is. Anyway, that's done. As for the rest, there's not much very complex. It controls both levers. If you go cut off, it will go cut off. If you go reverser, it will go reverser. Like so. Let's go autopilot switches. So that's the gear lever works on a gear up, gear down. The light, if they're down, fully down, they will be green. If they're fully up, they will be completely off, so you won't see anything. And in between, they will flash yellow, as you can see here. And it's gonna do that for all three wheels, nose and main. I bind it. That's the kind of thing I like, but it's definitely not necessary for anybody. I binded, and you can see for all my profile, it's gonna be like that. If it's not, there's a good reason for it. But like usually, the first one is a parking brake, and the second one is the seatbelt sign, which I think are very common. So that's what I use on almost, if not every, profile I have. So you can see if I switch that off, switch that on, you can hear the bing of the seatbelt sign right there. Yeah, it's either on or off. It doesn't go to auto. I figured that was not really necessary, but you can still do that like manually with your mouse. But again, that's just to be helpful. It's not needed at all. That switch, I needed to think for a second what it was. That switch is basically to arm and disarm the thrust reverser. So it's the second and third. So 1 and 2, as you can see. So it's basically the third and fourth, my bad. So it's the third and fourth switch for that. That's not necessary, you don't need it really, but it's there. What else is going on? And that's for starting the engines as well. What it's gonna do is simply press on this button and this button. You can see. And if I put that to off, it's gonna force press the stop button, even though you wouldn't do that really. So that's for the switches. Heading. It will go to heading, and again you see those button animation. You don't need that, but anyway, it's nice to have them. If you press it quickly, it's gonna go to heading. If you hold it for a second, what it's gonna do, it's gonna sync the heading. If I hold the heading, there you go. You can see it just sync. So it's basically the same thing as clicking here, which is kind of weird on the CRJ. You need to right click and that left click, otherwise it doesn't do anything. So yeah, anyway, that's in my opinion very useful. And the lights work, as you can see, it's on. Nav, that is the same thing. If you hold it, I'm trying to remember what it does, to be honest. Some of it, again, remember, I didn't do myself. Which I probably did that, I just don't remember. Anyway, either way, if you press once, it's that. And if you hold it, I believe it's gonna go course. It's gonna sing the course, but again, anyway, you get the idea. And the light works as well. If I do that, let's see, light works. Approach. If you click the approach, it's gonna arm the approach. That's simple. That is for arming the VNav button if you have a VNav button. Which you don't always have that. It depends on the version that you the CRJ that you fly. And again, lights work. Alt mode, if you hold it, it's gonna cancel the alt mode. VS, it's gonna go in VS mode, and again, buttons and light work. And IS is gonna be to control the speed button, and if you hold it, it's gonna switch to Mac instead of I think it's like clicking here. Yeah, exactly. You can see it here. So it's either in Oops, my bad. Exactly, either in speed in knots or in Mach. So if I hold it, you can see it's changing. There you go. And the light works. All of that works if you select the correct button here. For instance, if I'm on altitude, it will change the altitude. All of them work, so you can see if I change that, it changes the altitude. VS, obviously we won't be able to see it, but it will change that. Actually, if I can press, I don't know if I'm allowed to do that. Yeah, I can. Look at that. It's basically it's everything's working, and the heading same thing. And course we won't see it, but course work. And IS gonna be that speed. You can see it on the left here, which is just you know, the speed bug per se. So yeah, that's about that. The autopilot works as well. It will engage, disengage, and light up the light. Actually, it will just engage from what I see here, and it will light up if you're in autopilot. And annunciator, I'm not gonna explain all of that, but they all work. There's some, I believe, that don't exist, so it's not even there, but see master warning, there you go, you can see that, and you can see they're flashing because they're flashing here. Engine fire, vacuum, I use that as the in all my profiles I use that as the seatbelt sign light, because vacuum is, as far as I know, is only used for G airplanes or prop. Low pressure ores, no hydraulic, low fuel, auxiliary pump, fuel pump. If it's the switch for the fuel pump is on or not, you can remove that if you don't like it, but you get the idea. Anti-ice, if any of the anti-ice is on, meaning the cowl or the wings. As you can see, cowl or wing, it will show that. So if I do that, there you go, anti-ice. Starter engage. I'm trying to remember engage start. I believe it's on or off here basically. For now, it's obviously not working because we're not even on yet. Low voltage, you get the idea. If the EPU is on or not, and if one of the door is on or not. Right now, obviously, we have doors that are open. Actually, all of them except the service are on. And that's basically it. If you have any suggestions and stuff like that that you think is wrong or should be done differently, and you're not comfortable with SPAD, I have no problem fixing that. And if you find bugs, stuff that don't work and that should work, that's the same. Thank you so much. Have a good one.